Rat Island, Episode 3, The Silent Threat. Gdansk, Poland. The luxurious black yacht, the Gloria, docked silently at a quiet industrial port. The air was thick with tension, the city lights casting long shadows that seemed to whisper secrets of their own. Tad Zanco and Alexander Torbyn worked quickly, unloading the heavy metal crates marked with ominous warning symbols. The crates were cumbersome, but necessity bred determination. "Careful with that one," Zanco grunted, straining under the weight. Torbyn wiped the sweat from his brow, his eyes darting around. "We don't want to be glowing by the time we reach New York." They moved with purpose, avoiding prying eyes. A shadowy figure approached, and Zanco's hand moved instinctively toward his concealed weapon. But it was Viktor Kowalski, their contact, slipping through the darkness with the practiced ease of a man familiar with the shadows. "You're late," Zanco growled, eyes narrowed. "Police patrols have increased," Kowalski replied, his voice low and tense. "We need to be quick and discreet." Unknown to them, a group of local police had received a tip about suspicious activity. They began monitoring the port from a distance, cameras clicking and eyes keen. "Keep your eyes open," one officer murmured. "Something's not right here." Zanco and Torbyn continued their work, moving the last crate when the distant wail of police sirens sent a shiver down their spines. They ducked behind a stack of containers, hearts pounding in the still night air. "Stay still," Zanco hissed, beads of sweat glistening on his forehead. The patrol passed by, oblivious. Zanco and Torbyn exchanged a look of relief, but the tension between them was palpable. "You were too slow," Torbyn accused, his voice a dangerous whisper. "We almost got caught." Zanco's eyes flashed. "If you had covered our tracks properly, we wouldn't be in this mess." Kowalski stepped between them, his voice a low growl. "Save your fights for later. We have a mission to complete." They moved the crates to a secure warehouse, each step a calculated risk. "We can't afford any more mistakes," Zanco said, his voice steely. "We need to blend in." "Let's get this done," Torbyn replied, determination hardening his features. Meanwhile, across the ocean in New York City, Jim Mulrey and Tony Diaz began their investigation. Jim, with his keen instincts, scanned through documents, piecing together the Gloria's recent stops. "This yacht is our key," Jim said, eyes narrowing as he found a critical piece of information. "Look at this. Gdansk. This could be where they're hiding the cargo." Tony read the manifest over Jim's shoulder. "We need to get to Gdansk. Whatever they're doing, it's bigger than we thought." Without hesitation, they booked the next flight, a sense of urgency driving them forward. Back in Gdansk, Zanco, Torbyn, and Kowalski loaded the crates into a truck. The police, growing more suspicious, began closing in. "Just get the last crate," Zanco urged, his voice tight with fear and frustration. As they were about to drive away, police lights flashed and sirens pierced the night. Zanco and Torbyn shared a tense glance. "What now?" Torbyn whispered, gripping the steering wheel. The police surrounded the area, weapons drawn, casting long shadows in the dim light. Zanco and Torbyn locked eyes, a silent exchange of grim determination. Kowalski, sensing the tension, muttered a curse under his breath. The air was thick with the scent of diesel and the sound of approaching footsteps. Zanco glanced at the crates, then back at the police. "We stick to the plan," he whispered fiercely. Torbyn's grip on the steering wheel tightened. "Let's hope your plan holds up." The first officer stepped forward, his flashlight slicing through the darkness. "Stay where you are. Hands where we can see them." Zanco raised his hands slowly, a calm mask settling over his features. "Gentlemen, there's no need for this. We're just humble traders." The officer's eyes narrowed, scanning the scene. "Humble traders with highly classified cargo?" Kowalski stepped in, his voice smooth and disarming. "A misunderstanding, I assure you. Papers are in order." The officer wasn't buying it. He motioned for backup, his suspicion growing by the second. As more officers approached, the tension was palpable, each moment stretching into an eternity. Zanco's mind raced, calculating their next move. A single mistake, a wrong word, and everything would come crashing down. Torbyn's eyes flicked to the hidden compartment in the truck, knowing it held their only escape. The lead officer stepped closer, his flashlight now focused on Zanco's face. "Why don't we take a look at that cargo?" Zanco forced a smile. "Of course, officer. Anything to clear up this misunderstanding." As the officer moved towards the crates, the sound of a distant siren grew louder, a signal that time was running out. Zanco and Torbyn exchanged a final desperate look, the weight of their mission pressing down like a vice. The night was filled with tension and uncertainty, the outcome hanging in the balance. The game was far from over, and the stakes had never been higher.